Hi guys, it's a lovely sunny day here in the UK, and I have to say the future is getting really sunny and bright for Clickasnap.com and .co.uk. I think you probably know the guy sitting next to me is Tom Oswald, who's the CEO and founder of Clickasnap. So we thought we'd come along and have a little chat as to what's been going on, because there's some big changes and exciting news moving forward into the future. So what would you say is the biggest single improvement you've made this year, Tom?
Well, one of our users, a very active user, Mr. Hans Birkland, decided to post a picture up onto Clickasnap and one onto 500 pics, and then compared them to them in the forum. And the quality of 500 pics versus us was staggering. They were much, much better. So we spent a good 2 weeks completely redeveloping the image distribution side of the platform. And now I can safely say that actually the quality of our photos is higher than any other photo hosting site out there. So not only do we pay per view, we also have a higher quality of our photos. And that was, without a doubt, the single biggest thing we've done this year.
Are you actively advertising Clickasnap.com?
Yes, we are. We are running campaigns, display campaigns on Google Analytics, Google AdWords even, and we actually started with Bing last week. So we are driving a significant portion of our revenue into advertising the site, bringing more users, and it's working well. We've got a cost per acquisition of about £1.50 to £2 per user.
How many sales a month are you getting, and what would you say was the bulk? What's making up the bulk of sales?
We're getting about 100 of them a month, in between 80 and 120 a month. The bulk of the sales, by a large margin, are downloads. People are quite happy to pay £1 or £2 for a download. We do have prints, and usually the prints are going from between £5 and £15, and mouse mats as well, which are going for, again, in between £5 and £10. We very rarely see large sales, so someone coming in and buying a £200 picture, and that's indicative of the worldwide market at the moment anyway. Yeah,
absolutely. People very rarely print things and put them on the wall. It's been one of my things for ages, get your pictures out, print them, put them on the wall, I mean, I've just now made all my pictures available, many of my pictures available on Clickasnap to be sold as print. But any money we raise goes towards some good work around the world. We're just finalising something, but that's a different story. How many images, users, page views per month would you say
we're having about 1 million page views a month, so that's 1 million photos viewed a month. We have
1 million photos a month.
Yeah, we have.
That's worth underlining. That's pretty good, because Clickasnap's still a startup.
It's only
basically.
2 years old. It's actually 2 years and 1 week since you last put the video up on your YouTube channel, since you first introduced Clickasnap to the world. So back then we had 30 or 40 images viewed per day. We now have about between 25 and 50,000 images viewed per day. We have in between 1,000 and 2,000 users per day, between 300 and 500 photos uploaded per day. So yes, it's not. I mean, it's not where I want it to be. We need another 1 million images uploaded per day, but that'll take time to get there, as they do.
It takes time when you think about, the giants. Like, how long's Flickr been around?
10 years plus. 2006.
10 years plus. That's 10 years plus, with the power and the finance of people like Yahoo behind it. Whereas Clickasnap is basically you.
Yeah.
Well, it is. Okay, I might be involved, but it's basically you. You're the man who's stuck your neck out.
That's why I've got no hair left.
It is. Yeah, he looked like a hippie when I first met him.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah. Sorry, were you going to say something else?
No.
Okay. What's planned for the rest of the year?
So we are actively engaging with our users and determining what they want. One of our investors and users, a very prolific user, Laura Captain, pointed out that actually the profile pages and the way they search for images is not particularly good. So we're literally right now in the middle of redesigning the profile pages so that all of your photos and images are on one page. We want it to kind of look like a website as well, so we want people to go there and it to be almost personalised to that user rather than part of Clickasnap. So that'll be out hopefully in the next month or so. We've brought in Amazon recognition, so we now have image recognition on all of our images. We're refining that. We're putting that into our SEO work at the moment, more SEO work to obviously get your images found easier and easier.
Hang on, what is image recognition? Can you say a bit more?
So if you upload a picture of a tree and a bush, and you don't tag it, our image recognition will tag it as a tree and a bush, which means that actually every image that gets uploaded is now properly tagged, or at least tagged close to the relevance of the image. This is then put into the SEO of the page, which means that when Google indexes the page and goes, this is a page of a tree in a bush, it knows it is a tree in a bush and therefore ups our search rankings. It's basically growth hacking, using artificial intelligence to get what we want. I really want to bring in our automated marketing system, so that will basically allow you to upload a photo and then send it to Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and then automatically post it every hour on Twitter or whenever you want to do it. We're waiting for an EU grant at the moment for that to happen. As soon as that, that was supposed to be finalised in December. As soon as that happens, then we'll go ahead with that. And that's our major things this year, really.
So talk to me about stock photography, Guru. Are we going to be putting stock photography into the platform?
Yes, we've actually designed the stock photo site, or the way it's all going to look. It's something we do plan to put in. It's not a high priority at the moment. We're going to bring in a new method of distributing stock photography across the internet as well, which is completely revolutionary and will save money for the users who are using the stock photos, prevent or mean you don't have to pay out huge amounts of money up front. You can use very high quality photos and the photographer always gets compensated every time their photos are used. I can't really send you more details on that at the moment, but that is something...
That was going to be my next question. Can you say more about that?
No, that is something we do plan to bring out. It depends on our budgetary issues this year. If everything goes as planned, it'll probably be towards the end of the year, possibly early next year.
What aspect, feature, or interaction makes you think, wow, I'm glad we're doing this? So, the building and growing of Clickasnap, what is the feel-good factor in that?
I love seeing the quality of the photos on there. There's one of our users, Alan Tuning, I think,
yes,
photographs these tiny little mice in these flowers, and they must be like that.
I know. I saw one in a dandelion clock.
Yes.
This minute, teeny little, yeah.
And the comments he gets. When you see 50, 60 comments underneath those photos, you think actually, no, well, there's 2 years of growth. It's got this network of people who are talking to each other, interacting and commenting on their photos. And then on top of that, we're obviously giving them revenue. It's not huge amounts of money, but actually, you know what? Every time someone's seeing their photos, they're starting to see those money build up. We paid out £4,500 in revenue this year to users.
A major website such as Clickasnap doesn't just happen overnight. You don't just get a bunch of coders and developers and designers and put it all together, make it look pretty, press upload, and it's live on the web, and there we go. It's all going. It's an ongoing slog of constant innovation, fixing bugs, about improving the site, about promoting the site, about telling people it's there. Otherwise, it'd just be like having a wonderful set of beautiful brochures printed, leaving them under the stairs, and wondering why no one's bought anything.
Yes.
But there reaches the point of critical mass, I guess, where the scales are going to tip due to its size and the activities. Things start to roll on their own. Where do you see Clickasnap on that journey from startup to, world domination, for example?
Well, we're nowhere near world domination yet, unfortunately. However, if you look 2 years ago, we did a video similar to this, introducing Clickasnap, and the site crashed instantly, basically, which was that was fun. Now we deal with that sort of volume of traffic every day with no problems at all. We made no revenue at all back then. We're now making revenue, which easily covers the cost of everything that we do. Certainly the cost of running the platform and paying the royalties and all that sort of thing. We can scale. I would certainly I'd say we're closer to world domination than we are to startup. We're still a long way away from world domination, but we're also a very long way away from startup. As I said earlier, we're spending £100,000 plus a year developing this platform. Every time not every time, but the vast majority of times we bring out these new features, people embrace them, it brings in more people to the platform. But establishing where that critical mass is I don't think that's possible to say where that is. I think you're just going to get there and you're going to know about it when you're there. At the moment we don't have particularly many sites writing about us, for example. As soon as that starts happening, it suggests that actually a lot of people are hunting for Clickasnap, because obviously people want clicks on their website, so therefore they will write about things that attract people. We only have 200 or 300 searches a day for Clickasnap, so we're still relatively small, but there'll be a point when actually you're doing 1,000 plus searches a day and people go, actually, you know what, I need to get some of that link juice and I'll write an article about Clickasnap. I think that would be a very good indication of getting closer to world domination when we're at that point, to be honest with you. But these things take time. We're 2 years old. Facebook's 14 years old, Flickr's 10 years old, but I would expect it to take 10 years for us to get from startup to an IPO or sale or something similar to that.
It does take time, and all of you guys that use Clickasnap and supports Clickasnap, this is the key. It's gaining that critical mass, and it's all very well, Tom and I are doing whatever we can to tell people about Clickasnap and get other people on board, but it's also, you guys can play an enormous role in helping. Think back to when you were saying the site crashed when we first sort of launched it, and there was a handful of you guys who got on board there, and many of you are still there, and you're telling your friends about it and posting pictures and sharing about it. And that is what's going to make it grow.
Yeah.
That is what this critical mass is all about. So please, if you're interested in Clickasnap, if you love Clickasnap, if you want to see it grow, if you find any of the things that we've talked about inspiring, such as putting a bit of good back into the world, as having a bloody good time, with your photos and getting a couple of quid as well, then please play your part, because by you sharing and talking about Clickasnap and just being active with it, you are helping achieve that critical mass, and the more you do it, the sooner it will then achieve a place where it's going to work beautifully. And it's a place where you guys will benefit too, because then the payouts per view start to go up, and there will be more revenues features, such as stock, such as other things, and the top secret thing that you'd kill me if I was to talk to you about it, because I do know a bit about it. But I think it's doing pretty amazingly. Is there anything you want to add, Tom?
Thank you to our users for the feedback in the forum. We don't know everything that's going on that platform at any given point in time. One of the biggest issues that we have is people not telling us about bugs. Because there are so many different variables out there. There is an almost infinite level of different types of platforms and people using things. And Clickasnap is a massive platform. It has hundreds of thousands of lines of code. It operates on multiple servers across the world. So if you have an issue, report it in our forum, and then we will do our best to deal with it. And that's how we improve. If you don't tell us about these issues, we can't improve. So thank you to those who do actively visit the forums and actually tell us what's gone wrong for them, so that we can address those issues. That's definitely what I would say.
Yeah, no, good point. You can't fix it if you don't know it's broken. No. Nice one. Well, it's good talking to you, and thank you for listening, guys, because I think this is getting exciting. Please stay with us for the ride.